The Immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm going to be discussing good and cheap 360 games. You know, I've been doing a series talking about good and cheap games for different consoles, with several people getting a new console, the Xbox Series S or the Xbox Series X. I thought I would share 10 games that you can play on your new console, or say you haven't played your 360 in a while, or have an Xbox One. These games are backwards compatible. That's right. If you're playing on an Xbox One X or an Xbox Series X, several of these games are going to look great. This list includes physical copies of games, okay? Every game that I list here, you can find fairly cheap and on digital as well as physical. If people want to go the physical route, there is some awesome deals out there. First up, I have to recommend the original Crackdown. So much fun to play, just mindless fun, and pretty much you're playing a police officer trying to track down 21 gangster bosses in kind of an open sandbox. As you progress in the game, you get these superpower. You get like beefed up, and so you can jump from building to building, and you become like super powerful. It has that a great feeling of power in the game, and so I think it has good graphics. It is Xbox One X enhanced, so if you're playing on a newer console, an Xbox One X or a Series X, it will look great. I really like the graphic style, as well as the music in this game is fantastic, and so a lot of just simple fun in this game. Definitely check it out. So this is probably of everything on this list today, this is the hidden gem, and that's EDF 2017. This is a fantastic game and has a lot to it. If you like B movies, like sci-fi B-rated movies, this is up your alley. This is not a high production game. Definitely has that kind of budget feel to it, but it's a lot of fun. You can unlock over 100 different weapons, and you're blowing up bugs, and the sense of scale in this game is amazing. I really love the EDF series, and this was one of the first ones that I actually experienced, and I totally love it to this day. Love that game. This next one is huge. Tons and tons of gameplay. One of the best post-apocalyptic games ever made. A fan favorite for many, and that's Fallout 3. We need to talk about this. So if you go the physical game route, you know, digital, I think it's like $14.99. It's fairly affordable and backwards compatible. So here's the Game of the Year edition. It has the 5 included DLC packs, okay? You can find this really cheap. Check it out. Some of these games have been re-released, and they've been available at places such as Walmart, and they look like this. They have the Xbox One case, but then it says Xbox One and Xbox 360 on it. This is kind of a cool way to go if you want to go the physical game route, and there's 3 or 4 on today's list that have been re-released like this. Hours and hours. If you're a fan of the Fallout series, you can't go wrong with Fallout 3, and it simply one of the best made. So definitely check it out. I love everything about it, especially at the start of the game, in which it shows you progress, and some of the decisions that you make in those early hours impact the rest of the game. So really neat. I know there's a huge following for the Gears of War series, and I think Gears 2 got it right. Gears 2 is another game. If you play it on the Xbox One X or a Series X, it's going to look fantastic. It has those enhancements to the resolution, gets bumped, and it has a great story and campaign. Now, some of these games, with the age of 360 games, I'm really going to be focusing on the campaign, and I really think Gears 2 campaign has kind of a darker overtone to it. I really enjoyed what I've played. I never did beat it, but it's such a great game. It's one of Gears fans' favorites, as well as I think the gameplay and the weapon improvements from the original really make this a great one to go back and revisit. For campaign-wise, even though the multiplayer for me wasn't my favorite, but the Halo 3 campaign to me was wonderful. I have some fond memories of playing this with friends back in the day. I really think the campaign of Halo 3 is one of the best. It concludes the original trilogy of the Halo franchise, then went on to make other Halo games. But Halo 3, to me, if you're a fan of the franchise, is definitely, the campaign is worth going through and playing. I beat this back in the day, but popping in my original 360 disc, and the graphics just look great. Another one that's been enhanced a resolution bump on the Xbox One X or Series X, this is a great game to go back and play. It's also part of the Master Chief Collection, but your original disc, if the original 360 disc works fine, you pop it in. When I think of like music and a sense of theme, going back and playing Halo 3, just it gets chills on my skin. Just going back and experiencing, you know, that whole storyline. The campaign is one of the best of the Halo series. Next up is Oblivion. Now, Oblivion, you know, was superseded by Skyrim, but, you know, Oblivion has a ton of gameplay and wonderful things to check out. It's an open world fantasy role-playing game, and this is my original copy, so the collector's edition. Right, this is the one copy that you're going to find now, and this is again the re-release. It's got it includes the Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles expansion. Now, some people would say play the PC one, it's got the mods. Okay, but if you're a console player, if you haven't played Oblivion, it's definitely worth going back and playing. I was playing just a little bit a while ago, and I definitely wanted to play more. I wish I had more time in the day. I had to put a platformer on here, and I had to put Rayman Origins on this list, and it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous game with great soundtrack, multiplayer options. I really enjoyed this game. The artwork, gameplay is really tight. You know, it's one of my favorite Rayman games, and another one that has the repackaging that I showed, and definitely one to check out if you're looking for a great platformer. You know, the Rayman Origins game is wonderful. Next up is a turn-based strategy game, and that's Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution. Does this take the place of the PC series? No. But for console players, they do a good job of kind of taking that awesome franchises and making a console version that works. I found this game to be enjoyable. It definitely is a little bit on the short side, but there's different characters to play. It's got a good tutorial. I found myself really enjoying kind of the unique graphics of this game. And this is a weird one because the physical copy of this is cheaper than getting the digital copy. The digital copy is like $30, and I found to get the physical copy, you can get the physical copy for under $20. Yet another game that has this type of packaging. I don't have a physical copy yet. It's on order. But you'll find a physical copy in the Xbox One cases like this. Extreme sports have grown in size since the late 90s, and SSX is a great backwards compatible game. There's a ton there. Tons of tricks, equipment, level design. It's just mindless fun. I found myself going back and you know, the SSX series is wonderful, and the SSX one in particular is very, very affordable. And so I really think this is a great one to go back. It's backwards compatible. I really think this is a one to go back, especially during, like, I enjoy it in the fall and winter time playing like snowboarding games. And so this is a fun one to go back and check out. I think the graphics hold up. There's lots of tricks. And the gameplay, what I like about this SSX is for fans of the original Control, they have the button control option in this game. So there's some choices on how you control your character in this, and I think it holds up. I think it's still a lot of mindless fun is what I think of playing this game, and definitely worth checking out. All right, last and definitely not least is Star Wars The Force Unleashed. And so if you are a fan of the recent release of Jedi Fallen Order, this is a great 360 game to go back. You pretty much play the role as Vader's secret apprentice, and it's another game that you have a sense of power. You know, moving around stormtroopers and taking out enemies, and there's lots of hidden secrets in this game. You have to find these holocrons in the levels, and I think there's 100 different ones, but the levels are huge. I like the story, I like the background. It's just a really good 3D action platformer in the Star Wars universe, and so I like this one better than the sequel. I think the first one is well done. Those are my picks of 10 games that are backwards compatible for the 360 that you can play on a new console, or if you're just still rocking your original 360, these are great games to check out, and all are fairly affordable. What did you think? Comment below. What are your choices for 360 games good and cheap that you would recommend for people to play now. As always, thank you for the ongoing support. I am enjoying uploading several videos a week and having a lot of fun with these new videos. I've really enjoyed this good and cheap video series, as I want to help other fellow collectors and gamers get the most bang for their buck and check out those games that are still affordable to play today. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Thank you for watching. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.